Hey y'all, welcome to episode 2 of the Magnum build. Sorry about my voice, I'm fighting a cold right now, but got to keep moving on this car and get it done. So, if you haven't seen the first episode yet, I will link it in the top corner somewhere, either up here or up there somewhere. And let me show you all what we've done so far. Okay, so far on this build, if you haven't watched the first video, I picked this Magnum up for $1,000. It was blowing white smoke, and thought it could be one of two things: either a head gasket or a dropped valve seat. And it was the latter. It was a dropped valve seat. So we pulled the engine out. You can see here, engine bay is all completely emptied out. A little dark in there. Sorry. There it goes. Engine bay is all cleaned out. And come over here. You can see here we honed the piston. It does have a little bit of scarring in the wall, but nothing that I can feel with my fingernail or anything. That's what we ended up with on the piston that we pulled out. Alright, so today we're going to be swapping the piston out. We're putting a new piston on the rod, putting new rings on, getting it in, put back in, get everything cleaned up. I am going to pull the lifters while I have it here and check the cam. I'm not going to pull the cam clear out, do some cleaning up, and yeah. So make sure that you like and subscribe if you like this video. Also watch clear to the end, or skip to the end if you want to. I'm going to tell you how to save money on parts by shopping around. Saved me hundreds of dollars. So if you want to find out how to save hundreds of dollars on a job like this, then watch to the end. Anyway, I'm going to cut to the GoPro and we'll get started. There she goes. Said, remember to wear safety glasses anytime you're working around a press. You could also get a local shop to do the same thing for you too. There you go. Boom. Nice and straight. Everything looks good. Don't run your finger in there like I was about to. And she's out. So putting it back in, we're going to heat it up real good so that it'll should just slide right back in. So cool. On to the next step. Okay, so we got the rod on. You can do this by heating it up, sliding it in. There's lots of videos online showing how to do that. Or you could take it to your local shop, have them press it in, press it on, press it off. That has the proper tools. Now we're going to put the rings on. If you don't have a set of pliers like these are snap ring, or not snap ring, piston ring pliers. Super cheap. They were like $6, I think, at the local part store. You don't have to have them. You can just kind of walk them on, but these will help keep them from scratching up the side of the piston. So I'm going to get those done, and then we'll be about ready to throw this in the engine. Okay, so we got the rings on the piston. We got the cylinder wall clean. We took and coated the cylinder wall with oil, coated the inside of our ring compressor with oil, cinched her down, made sure all the rings are clocked in the correct position. Plenty of videos and stuff online to see how to do that. So now I'm just going to tap the piston in, and the crank is on the all the way down stroke on here so that we make sure that we do not nick the crank with the end of the rod. And we'll tap it in. As soon as we get it tapped into the top, we'll get it connected to the crank. All right, everything's been clean, hooked back together. It's torqued. So we're gonna throw a little bit of silicone in the corners right here on all 4 corners. And throw the windage tray / pan seal on. And throw in the pickup, get that torqued down, and we'll be ready to go back in the car. Okay, got the oil pan on, everything torqued down, everything looking good. Back on the stand, we're gonna put it right back in the car. I'm choosing to put this in the car with the heads off because you have access to get to everything like the starter and stuff like that a lot easier. And it's really not bad putting the heads on in the car. So we'll get it put in and all the bolts back in and stuff like that. And then we will work on getting the heads on probably in the next video. But let's go ahead and get this thing stuffed back in the car. All right, y'all, I'm gonna pause this video right here. Leave in the comment below right now if you can guess what I forgot to put on the engine before I put it back in the car. And I'll give you a hint, it's something that you can only put on the engine with either the transmission removed or the engine removed. So leave a comment below right now on what you think it is. And I also want to hear what big oopsie have you done when working on a car to where you had to pull everything back apart. So leave a comment below. Tell me all about it. All right, so here we are at the end of day 2 on this car, or episode 2, or whatever you want to call it. So let's talk about how to save money first. What I did at first, I'm gonna step back in the shade here. Oh, that's better. What I did is I went on to, or just called my local part store, and they wanted $38 for the piston and $116 for the rings for the piston, and then the head gaskets were $155 each. So before you just go in and you drop your money at your local parts store, if you want to, you know, give your hard-earned cash to them and keep your money in your local area, I respect that. But I went on to a website, summitracing.com. I'll leave a link down below, and got a whole gasket set, the front timing cover, rear main seal, I mean everything, for $250. So that right there was a big savings, and I was able to change some other gaskets and seals so that I don't have any leaks coming up. Piston rings, the part store only sold them in a set to do all 8 pistons. I was only doing 1 in this car, so I got it for $16 through Summit. Now the piston through Summit Racing was more expensive than the local part store. So just shop around. Don't just go to your local part store. There's other options. Summit Racing, just make sure that you can get your part within the timely manner you need it. And did you guys guess what it is that I forgot and had to pull the engine back out of the car? Luckily, I only had 2 bolts in. That would have been a disaster if I'd had it all the way in. So if you guessed flex plate, you're correct. And for you Hemi people out there, if you guessed the little spacer that goes in between the transmission or the bell housing of the transmission and the rear of the engine, that was the second thing I forgot. So take your time, don't get in a hurry. You'll have to pull it right back out. And I'll just show you all where we're at right now. So we got the engine back into the car here. I chose to do, here, brighten it up some, there we go. I chose to put it back in without the heads on, just because ease of access to get to everything. What stopped me is down here, I don't know if you can see that, if it'll focus, motor mount completely shot. When I pulled the engine out, I didn't notice that. However, did notice it whenever I was putting the engine back in. So I don't want to put it in with a busted mount. You can see here we have the new piston in. Try to lighten it up. Once again, it does have some marks on the side, but you can't even feel those at all. So hopefully she'll run good and not smoke. If it does, then well, I'll just have to pull it back out. But hey, $1,000 car, what do you expect? But anyway, like and subscribe. Make sure to hit the bell icon so you can catch the next episode of this where we actually fire this thing up and get it running. Hope you all have a great day. And yeah, that's it. That's it for me. Later.